So you just bought a off-road oriented Toyota or Lexus truck and you are ready for camping, overlanding, all kinds of expeditions and adventures. This is probably gonna be the strangest video you will watch about this topic. Don't modify your truck and ruin it before you test it. Let's get into the details because this is getting a little bit out of control with modifying trucks and then having all kinds of issues afterwards and wondering, but why? Why do I have all these problems? Well, let's get started with the video and I'll share with you some of the unfortunate truths and ugly details about modifying off-road trucks right after this. So let's talk about this from the beginning. Lately, the trend or the fashion is camping, overlanding, outdoor living, and all the fun that it entails. That is all wonderful. But the problem I'm seeing here is everyone wants an SUV and an off-road SUV. And those that can't afford an off-road SUV, they will get a regular SUV, but then the first thing they will do is how do we modify it and prepare it for the overlanding trips that lie ahead? And unfortunately, I am seeing so many companies take advantage of that want or need or just the new trend, and they are pushing hard. The problem is, are they going to be there when you take your perfectly fine Toyota and Lexus truck that is reliable, well-engineered, well-made, and then turn it into something that is just horrible? Are they going to be there to help you with that? 99% of them won't. Let's talk about this. I see this all the time in the shop. Folks will come in, oh, I want to install a lift kit. I want to install this. I want to modify this and modify that. The first question I will ask him is, why did you buy your Toyota or Lexus? Did you buy it because they're cool? If you did that, go buy a Jeep Wrangler, because they are cool. The number one reason you bought the Toyota or Lexus, because they're reliable. They're well made. That's the number one thing. But when you go and modify them, you kind of took that one good thing and threw it out the window. That's literally what you do. Let's dive into that deeper, because the number one thing I usually respond to that question, whoa, I want to install a lift kit so I can have more ground clearance. Then why did you buy a Lexus GX or a Lexus LX or a Land Cruiser or a 4Runner? Why did you buy them? Aren't they already equipped to handle off-road from the factory? Do you ever ask yourself that question? Folks, let's start by keeping it simple. If you bought a truck that is meant for off-road, you're going to go on camping trips, you're going to go overlanding, you're going to all this good stuff. Did you take the truck as it is to that event or trip? Because the reality is, regardless of what any advertising will tell you, most of these trucks, if not all of them, will be perfectly capable to handle everyday kind of adventure, camping, overlanding, whatever the case that you throw at them, out of the door, because they're designed to do that. They all have all-wheel drive, they all have great travel and good ground clearance and all this good stuff. They all have metal shields underneath them, because that's what they're meant to do. Here's my advice to you. Before you go spending a fortune, and we're going to talk about how doing that actually is a bad idea, go try it. Because 90% of folks will be perfectly happy with the truck the way it is. But they don't want to even try it. Immediately, as soon as they get it, I want to put this big wheels and big tires, and they barely fit. Now they rub on the fender, and they rub here, and now everything doesn't work right, and the tire light is flashing, and the gas mileage that's already horrible went worse. Did you even try it as it is before ruining it? Here's the second thing. You lift a truck, the ride will be horrible on the road. The gas mileage will go way down, when most of these trucks already don't get good gas mileage. And then, if that was not enough, the reliability will go significantly down. Now you're destroying front axles, and you're destroying control arms, and you're putting these horrible aftermarket ball joints that continuously go out, and then the tie rods will go, and then the alignment will never be right, and then the truck is loud, and the list is never ending. But I want you to ask yourself one question. Did you even try this truck as it is, stock? Because I'm going to tell you one thing. 90% of these trucks are perfectly capable of whatever you're going to throw at them. That's number one. Number two, if you really want to take it to the next level, most manufacturers already make an off-road specific model. That they didn't just take that model, throw a lift kit that is with cheap materials and horrible engineering behind them. They spent a lot of time and effort specifically designing this to work with the rest of the car. So maybe go buy that model. Here's what I see in the shop. Truck comes in, lifted, all tricked out and all this stuff. I lift the truck up, there's not a single drop of mud on it. Nothing. The big heavy shields that we charge extra to remove because they weigh a ton and they're non-standard equipment. We have to remove all this stuff to service your car. We charge you more, and I don't see a single ding on them. So what's the point? You're carrying all this extra weight, costing you more in repairs, for what? To drive around town? That's the reality. And those that actually take their truck off-road, did you know that most of these trucks, they already come with metal shields underneath them? They're very well protected. And if you're going to take your regular Toyota and Lexus truck to the type of off-roading that you are really going to need all this stuff, that's not your family going on a little trip. That is a sport, just like car racing. Serious off-roading where you go into these serious trails and you're going rock climbing and all this, that is a sport. Most folks that do this seriously, they trailer their truck there because that's an off-road vehicle. You can't drive it on the road. It's just undrivable. It's not meant for the road. Do you realize that? Here's the problems I see with Toyota Lexus trucks. You will have, if you Google right now, lift kits for a 4Runner, you will find 1,001 companies that will sell you all kinds of promises. But you know what the reality is? When you put this lift kit, you just change the geometry of the suspension. You just put all these modifications, and now the truck will never drive the same. Reliability goes out of the window. For once or twice a year that you're going to go on this one trip, there was not really serious off-roading. You could take your Corolla in that gravel road you're going to drive on. Folks, please don't do this to yourself. The best part is, most of these modifications, when you really look behind the science behind them, they're actually limiting your vehicle's off-road capability, not improving them. Because cheap is always cheap. That's the reality. Let's think of it this way. I want you to something with lift kits, because this is getting just unbelievable. The level of car destruction for a lift kit. This is the range of kind of movement of this suspension. This is what the car was designed to do. There is physical limits that you can't exceed without significant, complete redesign of the suspension. When you lift your truck, all you're doing, and this is a sad reality with these lift kits that are just, bolt on, let's go. You're taking this limit and you're making it this. You're actually lowering the actual off-road capability of your truck. Because you're just wanting something that's bolt-on and quick. You put a taller spring, well, now you're limited by the control arms. Well, let's put a different upper control arm. What about the lower one? What about the differential? What about the axle? What about the frame design? What about the transmission angle? What about everything else? That's the problem. Do you think these companies that are just sell, pushy, sell all this stuff, do you think they are actually spending the time to redesign the entire geometry of the truck just by looking at the lift kit and what it contains and what it requires to install. No. That's a reality, folks. And it breaks my heart. When I get folks in the shop, they put these lift kits and then, oh, my truck doesn't ride the same. I have all this noise. My gas mileage is now horrible. It rides really rough. And by the time you drive it for a few months, now everything is clunking and making noises because the upper ball joint is loose and then the axle is tearing. And all these problems that all started for nothing. Because if you would have taken this 5th generation 4Runner stock form with all season tires, it's a very capable truck. Here's my advice, and this breaks my heart. When I see folks make this mistake over and over and over and they end up regretting it, but they never admit it. Here's a recommendation. You want to go overlanding, camping, off-roading, whatever the case. Take your truck as it is. Stop. With the same comfortable tires on the road. Because you're not going to go every single day off-roading. If you are, you need to buy a dedicated car for that and not drive it on the road. Take it off-roading. If it does everything you want it to do and puts a giant smile on your face, then don't do anything. As it is, drive it, maintain it, great. If you went there and you felt like the wheels were slipping, we need a little bit more, don't go overboard immediately. Change the tires. Better yet, buy a second set of wheels. Put really aggressive tires. Don't have to be this giant tire, super oversized, whatnot. Just buy a little bit more off-road oriented tire. Put in a second set of wheels. When you go on your trip, switch the wheels, go on your trip, enjoy it, great, it handled wonderful. Come back, switch them back, because you're going to drive the car on the road the rest of the year. Do you really want to be driving with these very loud, hummy tires all year long? You're just going to destroy these tires, because they're not meant to be driven at 70 miles an hour on the highway. And if you do that, and you still have issues, you need more ground clearance, you're going serious off-roading where you're bottoming out the truck all the time and you're hitting the bumpers and whatnot, then consider modifying. But then I'm going to ask you one question. What are we doing here? Because if you're going serious off-roading that you need to completely modify the truck, that becomes a sport. That becomes kind of like a race car. You don't take your Corolla to a racetrack and expect it to be the same as a race-prepped car. Well, make a race-prepped car. Make an off-road dedicated vehicle that you can tow with your very comfortable SUV, take it to the place, drive it off-road. Because at that point, if you're camping and overlanding and going somewhere very far in serious rock climbing and whatnot, we need to have a different conversation. Not modify your truck. Folks, there is nothing that I see more in the shop than modified trucks and their problems afterwards. The lifted trucks, all the metal shields and all the covers and all the things that they bring, it's all unnecessary. Folks are almost doing that because it's a fashion. But then, secretly, they end up regretting it. Don't fall for that, folks. Don't go buy a Toyota Prius, lift it, and go off-road with it. Don't go buy a Toyota Sienna, lift it, and go serious off-road with it. They already make the Woodland. It's a little bit lifted, just to give you a little bit more ground clearance for your average camping overlanding trip. It is unbelievable. The level of sell in the off-road world. And folks, unfortunately, going with it. Don't modify your truck until you need to. And if you do, you might run a dedicated vehicle for that, because the rest of the year, you're going to be dealing with the side effects of that. And trust me, they're not pleasant. Loud noise, horrible gas mileage, horrible reliability, just terrible ride. Why? Did you even try it as it is? Because some of these trucks will surprise you. Take this GX off-road. It's beautiful, leather, whatnot. It'll shock you how good off-road they are. Same thing with this LX. Folks, these trucks are off-road capable from the factory. And they have a lot of engineering and design went behind them to make them as capable as possible. Do you think a little lift kit that you bought online that's going to make it better? I beg to differ. And I don't want you to fall for that. Folks, please be careful. Drive your truck as it is. Folks, I hope this video was helpful and informative. I hope you learned something new. If you like it, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out some other videos. Until the next video, folks, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and you have yourself a wonderful day.